Good day, everyone. I am Luisa May A. Camia, together with my fellow discussants, Miss Arocha and Miss Kabuyao. Today, we will tackle about the issues and challenges in contemporary literature. Literature continues to play an important role in expressing ideas, culture, and human experiences. However, in our modern time, it faces many struggles because of rapid changes in technology, media, and society. Books tell our stories and they carry our culture, our history, and our dreams. But in today's fast changing world, literature faces new challenges. Social media, technologies, and global trends are reshaping the way we write and read. How do writers survive in the digital age? And how do readers stay connected to deeper stories? So join us as we explore the major issues and challenges of contemporary literature and why it still matters today. Here is the 18 challenges in contemporary literature. The first one is literature is language-based and national, but society is global and many languages. Traditional bookstores are deeply tied to their country's language and culture. In today's world, readers are international. Authors must decide whether to write their own language or in global one like English. If translated, some meaning or wordplay is lost. If not translated, the book may not be read outside the country. This is a challenge for writers who want to stay true to the roots but also want a wide audience. Anyway, I have two examples here. In the local, the book Lumbay ng Dila by Genevieve Asenjo. This Filipino novel mixes Kinaraya, Hiligaynon, and Tagalog. It shows how a work can strongly reflect local language and culture, but be harder for non-Filipino or even non-Visayan readers to fully understand without translation. In the international book Heart Lamp by Banu Mushtaq. This novel, originally written in Urdu, carries deep South Asian culture and religious imagery. While powerful in its own language, much of its beauty and culture references can be lost in translation, making it a perfect example of how national language-based literature struggles in a global polyglot society. Second is vernacular means of everyday communication. Cell phones, social networks, streaming cell phones, social network, streaming videos are moving into areas where printed text cannot follow. Books used to be the main form of storytelling, and now people like short posts, videos, and reels. Long books need time to focus. Digital content is quick and easy. It makes it harder for writers of novels and poetry to hold readers' attention. Many try online serialization or ebooks, but long-form literature competes with fast visual media. I have example here. In the local, the book Ligo na You, Lapit na Mi by Eros Atalia. This Filipino novel used a casual, text-like style and slang similar to how young people communicate online. It became popular because it mirrors the quick, conversational tone of social media and texting. It's a good example of how writers try to adapt literature to modern communication habits. In international, the book Heart Lamp by Banu Mushtaq again. This Urdu novel tackles deep and serious themes, but it competes for attention with online entertainment, and short-form media. Readers who are used to fast content may not spend time with its slow, reflective style. This shows how serious books struggle in a world of quick digital consumption. The third one is intellectual property systems failing. Because ebooks and PDFs are easy to copy, authors and publishers lose money. Weak copyright laws make it hard to stop illegal sharing. This discourages writers from producing more work. I have two examples here. The book Noli Me Tangere by Jose Rizal. This classic is in the public domain, but many free scanned versions online are incomplete or altered. Students often read poor quality copies instead of official editions, showing how the author's original intent can be lost when intellectual property systems fail. In international, the book The Girl in the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. Pirated ebook of this thriller were shared widely worldwide, which reduced control over the text and profits. Next is means of book promotion, distribution, and retail destabilized. Without physical bookstores and print reviews, serious books get less attention. Online stories favor fast-selling titles. New authors and literary works have a harder time reaching readers. I have two examples here. In the local, the book Smaller and Smaller Circles by F.H. Batacan, a Filipino crime novel first published by a small press. It struggled to reach wide audience until a bigger publisher picked up. This shows how limited distribution hurts good literature. In international, the book We Need New Names by Noviolet Bulawayo, a Zimbabwean novel that gained praise but had a relay on international festivals and online buzz rather than big bookstore displays. Next is ink on paper manufacturing is an outmoded, toxic industry with steeply rising costs. Rising papers prices and environmental concerns make publishers print fewer books or charge higher prices. This affects availability and affordability of literature. I have two examples here. The book America is Not the Heart by Elaine Castillo. Though published abroad, it's a Filipino diaspora novel. Hardcovers were expensive and limited in the Philippines, showing how cost of printing makes books harder to access locally. In international, the book The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. In some countries, its release was delayed because printers couldn't meet demand for environmentally friendlier paper, reflecting how rising costs and green printing complicate book production. Next is core demographic for printed media is aging faster than the general population. Failure of print and newspapers is disenfranchising young apprentice writers. Print is losing younger readers. They prefer digital platform and publisher targets older readers, making it harder for young writers to devote in print. This limits new voices. I have a book example here. In local, the book Si Jano Silang at ang Tiyanak ng Tabon by Edgar Calabia Samar. A YA fantasy novel that found many of its young readers online and in school, not in regular bookstores. It shows how writers must adapt to young people's reader habits. In international, the book Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, a YA novel that became popular because of online buzz and ebook sales. It shows how even youth-oriented printed books now rely on digital spaces to reach young readers. And the next issues, I will give the floor to Miss Arocha.
A pleasant day, everyone. I am Rizal Irene S. Arocha from BSed English 3B, and I am going to continue the discussion of Miss Comia about the challenges and issues of contemporary literature. And now we are on the seventh issue or challenge in contemporary literature, which is the media conglomerates have poor business model, economically rationalized culture industry, is actively hostile to vital aspects of humane culture. So this means that big companies big media companies focuses on profit and not in quality. So they push only marketable books, ignoring the meaningful ones. And because of this, they often ignore or even harm the deeper human side of culture, like creativity, meaning, and values. And in short, media companies focus too much on profit, which hurts real culture and literature. And I have two examples here, one local and one international example. So the local example is the Ibong Mandaragit by Amado V. Hernandez. And the other one is the international example entitled The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. Moving to the eighth issue or challenge in contemporary literature is the long tail balkanizes audiences, disrupts means of canon building, and fragments literary reputation. So this means that because of the internet and digital platforms, there are now many small niche audiences, or as what we call the long tail. This divides readers into separate groups with different interests. As a result, it's harder to agree on which works are the classics or the canon. And authors don't get the same kind of lasting reputation they used to. So in short, too many niche audiences break unity in literature, making it harder to build shared classics and reputation. And I have examples here, again, in one local and in one international. So, a book by Lualhati Bautista entitled The Decada Setenta and the famous Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. So, readers are split into small groups with different tastes, making it hard to build shared classics or a unified literary culture. Moving on to the next is a digital public domain transforms traditional literary heritage into a huge, cost-free, portable, searchable database, radically transforming the reader's relationship bell letters. So, this means that because of the public domain, many old literary works are now free and easy to access online. People can carry them on their phones, search through them quickly, and read them anytime. This changes how readers connect with classical or traditional literature, since it is no longer rare or difficult to find. So now that we are living in a digital era, it is now very convenient to us to search online about different stories or about different literatures. So in it is an issue or uh, a challenge in contemporary literature such as this. So in short, free online access makes classic literature easier to get, but it changes how people value and experience it. So I have an example here. So this is the Florante and Laura by Francisco Balagtas, and in international we have the Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So readers now treat classic works as databases, not as books to read deeply. So another example for the local is the literature made by our national hero Jose Rizal, Dr. Jose Rizal, which are the El Filibusterismo and Noli Me Tangere, and many more. So moving on to the next, we have contemporary literature not confronting issues of general urgency. Dominant bestsellers are in former niche genres such as fantasies, romances, and teen books. So this means that most contemporary books don't talk about important real-world problems. Instead, the most popular books today are often from genres that used to be considered light reading, like fantasy, romance, or teen fiction. So in short, popular literature today focuses more on entertainment than on urgent social issues. So an example for this is in the local is the Smaller and Smaller Circles by F.H. Batacan. And in international is the famous Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. And popular books avoid social problems, focusing on entertainment and genres like fantasy and romance. Moving on to the next is the barriers to publication entry have crashed, enabling huge torrent of subliterate or non-literary textual expression. So this means that today it is very easy for almost anyone to publish online. Because of this, there are now too many writings. Many of them are low quality or not really literature. So in short, easy publishing created a flood of writing, but much of it is not high quality literature, and it is a challenge or issue in contemporary literature. And an example for that is in local is the book of Edgar Calabia Samar entitled Si Janus Silang at ang Tiyanak ng Tabon. And for the international is the 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. Anyone can publish online, leading to too many low-quality works flooding the literary space. And for the 12th challenge or issue in contemporary literature is the algorithms and social media replacing work of editors and publishing houses. Network socially generated text replace individually authored text. So this means that before editors and publishing houses decided which books or writings were important and worth sharing. Now, social media and algorithms decide what people see. Instead of text made by one author, we often see content created together by many users online. So in short, Social media and algorithms now shape literature and reading more than traditional publishers and editors. I have an example here, the book by Edgardo M. Reyes entitled Ang Mundong Ito Ay Lupa. And in international is a book by Colin Hoover entitled It Ends With Us. So this challenge is an online trends and algorithms decide what people read, not editors or critics. And for the next 6 challenges and issues of contemporary literature would be discussed by Miss Rosemary Cabuyao.
Good day everyone, my name is Rosemary Cabuyao and I will be discussing the continuation of 18 challenges in contemporary literature. Number 13, convergent culture, obliterating former distinction between media, books, becoming one mirror aspect of huge tweet, blog, comics, games, soundtrack, television, cinema, ancillary, merchandise, franchises. In the past, books, movie, and games were separate worlds, but today, stories spread across many platforms: novels, film, comics, video games, blog, tweets, and merchandise. This make literatures part of a huge entertainment network, but it can also reduce a book to just one small pieces of a commercial franchise. And I have here the example of local and international. Convergence creates exciting opportunities but also challenges literatures to keep its identity in the world of competing media. In this local example, I provide the Tresi by Badgetan and Cajo Baldesimo. This began as a Filipino comics about a detective of supernatural crimes in Manila. Because of its popularity, it becomes a Netflix animation series and inspired merchandise and fan art. This comic reached a wider audience, but the original book can be overshone by the Flastern TV vision. And the international example, I have prepared the Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. The novel grew into blockbuster film, video games, stage play, and theme parks. Many new fans knows the movie first and never read the book, proving how convergence culture can make the novel only one part of the massive franchise. Next is unstable computers and cell phone interfaces becoming words primary means cultural access. Compositor system remake media in their own hybrid cruel image. This means that computer and cell phones are now the main gateway to culture. Most people read on screens, which constantly change with new apps and updates. Notification ads and endless scrolling interrupt serious reading. Literature must compete with fast distraction digital environment. And I have prepared the local and the international, and the local is the Decada 70 and the Amazon Kindle singles. The way we read shape what we understand. When screen dominate, literature risks being skimmed instead of absorbed. The Decada 70s by Loalhati Bautista, this powerful novel about martial law, is now available on the ebooks platforms. Digital access brings new readers, but phone notification and screen fatigue can weaken attention to its deep political message. Then next is the Amazon Kindle single. These digital-only works are convenient but rely on Amazon platform, where frequency software changes a format's limit can affect how stories are preserved or enjoyed. Number 15, scholars step within the disciplines, becoming cross-linked jack of all trades, virtual intelligentsia. This is the rise of scholar who must become cross-linked jack of all trades intelligentsia. Critics of literatures now need knowledge of film, technology, sociology, and even coding. While this open, rich connections, it can also dilute deep literacy focus. I have the example of the local, smaller and smaller circles by F.H. Batakan, and the international example is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Smaller and smaller circles. This is to analyze the crime novel, Philippine Politic, and the film adaptation, not just a literary style. Then The Hunger, a scholar examine political, reality TV, culture, trauma, psychology, and marketing strategies along with the natural and narrative itself. It interdisciplinary works is exciting, but it can leave less time for the show. Careful reading and literatures deserve. Next is the academic education system suffering severe bubble inflation. In these challenges, the university continues to produce many literature graduates even though career opportunities are shrinking. This oversupply lowers the market value of a literature degree and discourages young writers. I have prepared the Ilustrado by Miguel Sayhoko, and the International by Beloved by Toni Morrison. When education outpaces employment, literature risks losing talented people who might otherwise become future authors and critics. This award-winning novel about a Filipino writer is taught in many universities, yet graduates who specifies such work often struggle to find stable jobs outside teaching. Then The Beloved by Toni Morrison, widely taught in U.S. English department, but many graduates when this is entertised with Morrison work face underemployees. Next is the polarizing civil Cold War is warming to intellectual honesty. Today's political climate pressures writers to take slides. Books are often judged by ideology rather than artistic merit, making writers fears backlash or cancellations. I have here the America in the Heart by Carlos Bulosan and the Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie. This honest portrait of migrant labor and colonial history still provokes debate on nationalism and social justice. The America is in the Heart. And the Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie is this novel critical view of religion lead to bans, protests, and even death threats. Polarization can silence voices and limit the freedom of literature's need to remain truthful. Next is the Gothic fate of Fort Slain poetry is the specters of this dwindling feast. And the last challenge is what some call the Gothic faith or poor slain poetry. Poetry once held the center of cultural life but now struggled to survive in a world of fast media. Short viral poem on Instagram or TikTok exists, but seriously poetry receives little public attentions. And I have here the example of the local Pag-ibig sa Tinubuang Lupa by Andres Bonifacio. This revolutionary poem once inspired action but now mostly confined to classroom studies. Then the International Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, a landmark in American poetry that shaped national identity, yet today it is read mainly by scholars. Poetry has not disappeared but it is treated like a ghost of the feast of modern entertainment. That's all, thank you.